What if I told you that the most powerful criminal organizations aren't just stories from movies? They're real. They control billions, sway governments, and operate in the shadows. They're not far away. They're closer than you think. Behind closed doors, in boardrooms, in quiet neighborhoods, they exist. Their reach is vast and their influence unimaginable. Today we take a closer look at the dark forces shaping our world. In this video, we delve into the dangerous and secretive world of organized crime. These are not petty criminals or small-time gangs. These are groups with a global presence, controlling industries and influencing decisions at the highest levels. They have built empires that rival the wealth of entire nations, operating with precision and power. From the Yakuza of Japan, steeped in tradition and infamous for their rituals, to the ruthless and far-reaching Bratva, every one of these groups has a history and a legacy that demands attention. Stay with us until the very end, because the group sitting at the top of this list has amassed a fortune so vast that it could rival small countries. Their influence stretches farther than most of us could ever imagine, and their power is enough to bring entire cities to their knees. To truly understand the scale of their power, we're starting with the least dangerous of these organizations. But don't be fooled by the ranking. Even at the bottom of this list, these groups command respect and fear in equal measure. As we move forward, each name brings us closer to the pinnacle of danger. These organizations are not just about crime. They've built systems. They've established networks. Each one operates in ways that most people would never imagine, from controlling illicit markets to influencing entire economies. Their reach is vast. And as we work our way to the top, the stakes only get higher. What you're about to hear may sound like fiction, but every detail is real. Let's begin. The Yakuza of Japan, despite a significant decline in their numbers over the years, still hold a reputation as one of the most feared and notorious criminal organizations in the world. Their origins trace back to the 17th century, where they started as small groups of gamblers and peddlers. Over time, they evolved into a powerful network and establishing their own strict codes of conduct and gaining influence throughout Japan. One of the Yakuza's most notable and unique traditions is yubitsume, the ritual of amputating a finger to show remorse or as punishment for wrongdoing within their ranks. Members also bear elaborate tattoos, often covering their entire bodies, a practice that symbolizes commitment and loyalty to their group. Today, their numbers have dwindled significantly. In 2023, the Yakuza consisted of approximately 10400 active members and an equal number of quasi-members. This sharp decline is largely due to changes in Japan's legal and social systems, which have made it increasingly difficult for them to operate. However, they remain active in several criminal enterprises, including extortion, loan sharking, and money laundering. In an unexpected twist, the Yakuza made headlines in 2011 following the devastating Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. While their criminal operations continued in the background, they took on a surprising role in providing disaster relief. Trucks filled with supplies, food, water, and blankets were sent to affected areas by Yakuza organizations. This act of support was seen by some as a way to maintain public goodwill, while others viewed it as a calculated move to preserve their influence. But as we move forward, their impact, though significant, pales in comparison to the groups we'll uncover next. The scale of power and danger only grows from here. From the rugged hills of Calabria, Italy, comes a criminal organization so entrenched in secrecy and power that even law enforcement struggles to grasp the full extent of its operations. The Ndrangheta, though often less recognized than the infamous Sicilian Mafia, wields a level of influence that is both vast and deeply rooted. Their name may not be as familiar to many, but their actions leave a significant mark on the global criminal landscape. Unlike other mafia-style groups, the 'Ndrangheta operates through a network of independent family-based clans called Ndrangheta. Each clan functions autonomously, yet they remain tightly connected through bonds of blood. This structure is not just a hallmark of their operation, it is their foundation. It creates a system where loyalty is not just expected, it is guaranteed. Members are bound by family ties and betrayal is virtually unheard of. This impenetrable structure has allowed the 'Ndrangheta to thrive in the shadows, even when authorities close in. Their power is not merely confined to Calabria or even Italy. Over decades, they have built a criminal empire that spans continents. One of their most profitable ventures is the cocaine trade, where they dominate as a leading force. Controlling an estimated 80% of Europe's cocaine market, they have created a pipeline that connects producers in South America with distributors across Europe. Their control is so absolute that few other groups dare to challenge their dominance. The financial scale of their activities is staggering. In 2013, the Ndrangheta's revenue was estimated at a jaw-dropping €153 billion. To put that into perspective, this figure accounted for approximately 3% of Italy's entire GDP at the time. Their wealth doesn't come solely from drug trafficking. They are equally involved in extortion, money laundering, arms smuggling, and even legitimate business ventures. By blending illegal and legal operations, they've built an empire that is nearly impossible to dismantle. In 2010, an international investigation shed light on just how far-reaching their influence had become. Spanning 3 continents, this operation uncovered a network capable of moving enormous quantities of drugs, laundering millions of euros through front companies, and manipulating political systems to protect their interests. Their adaptability is unmatched. Whether operating in South America, where they secure their drug supplies, or in Europe and North America, where they distribute and launder money, their methods are as efficient as they are ruthless. What makes the 'Ndrangheta particularly dangerous is not just their financial power or global reach, but their ability to operate with near invisibility. While other groups might rely on public intimidation or violent displays to assert dominance, the 'Ndrangheta thrives on secrecy. Their horizontal structure ensures that no single individual has enough power to compromise the organization as a whole. This decentralization makes them remarkably resilient to law enforcement efforts. Even when a leader or high-ranking member is arrested, the operations continue without interruption. Their influence extends beyond the underworld. The 'Ndrangheta has infiltrated political systems and economic sectors, not only in Italy, but also in other parts of the world. They invest in construction, real estate, and other legitimate businesses, using these ventures to launder money and expand their legal presence. By doing so, they blur the line between crime and commerce, making it increasingly difficult to trace their activities, despite their immense power. The 'Ndrangheta rarely seeks attention. Unlike some organizations that make headlines with bold acts, they prefer to keep their operations quiet and unnoticed. This strategy has allowed them to grow steadily and avoid the spotlight, which might otherwise bring unwanted scrutiny. It is a level of discipline and strategic thinking that few other groups can replicate. And yet, for all their wealth, power, and influence, the 'Ndrangheta is not the most dangerous organization on this list. The groups that come next have taken criminal operations to levels that are almost incomprehensible. As we continue, you'll see how these organizations don't just compete with governments, they rival them. From their beginnings as secret societies with revolutionary aspirations to their transformation into modern criminal powerhouses, the triads have a history that is as complex as it is dangerous. These organizations, rooted in tradition yet fully immersed in contemporary crime, have managed to adapt and expand far beyond the borders of their origins. What began in the 18th century as groups with the aim of overthrowing the ruling Qing dynasty has evolved into a sprawling network of criminal enterprises with international reach. The triads were not always associated with crime. In their early days, they were seen as resistance fighters, striving to challenge what they viewed as oppressive rule. Over time, however, their focus shifted. As political power structures changed and opportunities for profit grew, they turned their attention to activities that would secure their survival and expand their influence. Their operations now span a variety of criminal ventures, including drug trafficking, human smuggling, arms dealing, and financial crimes. One of the most unsettling aspects of the triads is their adaptability. They have managed to thrive in different political climates and across multiple countries. In modern times, their influence extends to Macau, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and even Chinese communities overseas. Allegations have surfaced that some factions maintain connections with influential government officials in China to back up their influence on individuals within their own section's government, by using the government's way grace to trap them and use Stretfers, their transformations into Cold War farriers and perhaps even Hancock tribunes. In modern times, they exploit individuals to perhaps other forms of power, whether in the political field or in wartime fighting. While these claims remain controversial and difficult to prove, they suggest a level of power and protection that allows the triads to operate with remarkable impunity. Their involvement in drug trafficking has made them a dominant force in the global narcotics trade. They have established routes that connect producers in Southeast Asia's Golden Triangle to distributors worldwide. Human smuggling is another area where they have excelled, creating networks that exploit the vulnerabilities of people seeking better opportunities. They are also known to deal in arms, supplying weapons to conflict zones and criminal groups. A chilling example of their financial influence came to light in 2014. Authorities uncovered a massive money laundering scheme operated by the triads, which funneled billions of dollars through casinos in Macau. This operation demonstrated not only their financial ingenuity, but also their ability to exploit legitimate industries for criminal purposes. By using Macau's casinos as a front, they were able to clean vast sums of money while maintaining a facade of legitimacy. The scale of this operation highlighted the extent to which the triads have embedded themselves into the global financial system. But their power is not only financial. The triads are known for their internal discipline and strict codes of loyalty. Members undergo initiation rituals that bind them to the group, ensuring obedience and secrecy. Betrayal is met with severe consequences, often violent and final. They inquired into the relationship between their wealth and their thoughts about the welfare of their fellows with patient, uncritical clarity. This unwavering commitment to their code has allowed them to maintain their structure and influence for centuries. What makes the triads particularly dangerous is their ability to blend into the communities where they operate. They rarely draw attention to themselves, preferring to work quietly but effectively. This low-profile approach allows them to grow their networks without attracting the kind of scrutiny that could jeopardize their operations. Yet, when necessary, they are not afraid to use intimidation or violence to achieve their goals. And as vast and powerful as the triads are, the group that comes next operates on an entirely different level. Their structure is so precise, their operations so extensive, that they are often compared to a military force. What you are about to hear will redefine the way you think about organized crime. Known by many as Bratva, or simply the Brotherhood, the Russian Mafia stands as one of the most structured and dangerous criminal organizations the world has ever known. Its origins can be traced back to the chaotic aftermath of the Soviet Union's collapse, a time when political systems were crumbling and opportunities for power and profit seemed limitless. Bratva thrived in this environment of uncertainty and corruption, establishing itself as a force that operates with precision and ruthlessness. Unlike many other criminal organizations, Bratva's structure is disciplined, often likened to a military operation. This level of organization has allowed them to expand rapidly, both within Russia and across international borders. They have embedded themselves into nearly every sector of society, from politics and law enforcement to legitimate business ventures. This seamless blending of legal and illegal activities has made them nearly untouchable. One of their most alarming areas of control is arms trafficking. Bratva has access to a staggering array of weapons, some of which have been traced back to stockpiles from the Soviet era. These weapons find their way into conflict zones around the world, fueling violence and instability. But they don't stop at conventional arms. In one of their most chilling ventures, Bratva has been linked to the illegal trade of weapons-grade uranium. The implications of such a trade are terrifying, as it raises the possibility of these materials falling into the wrong hands with catastrophic consequences. Human trafficking is another cornerstone of Bratva's operations. They exploit the vulnerabilities of people seeking a better life, luring them with promises of opportunity, only to subject them to a life of exploitation and abuse. These networks are vast, spanning multiple countries and generating billions of dollars annually. The victims, often powerless to escape, serve as a grim reminder of Bratva's reach and lack of conscience. In 2009, the extent of Bratva's power was brought to light in a case that shocked authorities worldwide. An operation uncovered a network smuggling weapons-grade uranium across borders. This was not a small-scale endeavor. It was a sophisticated and coordinated effort, demonstrating Bratva's ability to operate on a global scale. The case underscored the organization's ambition and the lengths they are willing to go to achieve their goals. Bratva's success is deeply intertwined with the corruption that permeates post-Soviet Russia. They have forged relationships with politicians, law enforcement, and business leaders, ensuring that their activities are protected and, in many cases, enabled. These connections provide them with a level of immunity that allows them to act with impunity, even when their crimes are in plain sight. What sets Bratva apart from other organizations is their discipline. They operate with a level of control that is almost unparalleled. Orders are followed without question, and loyalty is absolute. This military-like approach ensures that their operations run smoothly, even in the face of adversity. Their influence extends far beyond their home country, with operations in Europe, Asia, and the Americas. Wherever there is profit to be made, Bratva is there, adapting and expanding with ease. And yet, for all their power and reach, Bratva is not the pinnacle of organized crime. The final organization on this list, a group whose name is synonymous with the word mafia, takes the concept of criminal dominance to an entirely new level. Their history, their influence, and their control over the underworld have made them the most feared organization in the world. But what comes next is the true embodiment of power in the shadows. The Sicilian Mafia, known as Cosa Nostra, is the organization that comes to mind when most people think of the word mafia. It is the archetype of organized crime, an entity so deeply entrenched in history and power that its influence is felt across the globe. Originating on the island of Sicily in the 19th century, Cosa Nostra began as a loose collection of clans that provided protection and arbitration services. What started as localized groups quickly grew into a network that would define organized crime as we know it today. Cosa Nostra's core activities are as infamous as they are effective. They specialize in protection rackets, offering security to businesses in exchange for payment. Those who refuse often face consequences too severe to imagine. They also serve as mediators in disputes between criminals, ensuring that illegal enterprises operate smoothly. Beyond that, they are deeply involved in a range of illegal transactions, from drug trafficking to money laundering, creating an empire built on fear, secrecy, and control. Educational, medical, and the social finances of Cuba are certainly not grounds for trust. By the 20th century, Cosa Nostra's influence had expanded far beyond Sicily. Waves of emigration brought its methods and members to countries like the United States and South America. In the US, they established themselves as a dominant force, infiltrating industries, controlling unions, and influencing politics. The Mafia's ability to adapt to new environments while maintaining its core principles is a testament to its resilience and ambition. One of the most notorious examples of their operations came to light in the 1980s during the infamous Pizza Connection case. This operation revealed a heroin smuggling ring that moved vast quantities of the drug from Italy to the United States, using pizzerias as fronts for distribution. The scale of the operation was staggering, worth an estimated $1.6 billion. This case exposed not only the extent of Cosa Nostra's drug trade, but also their ability to embed themselves into seemingly ordinary businesses, using them as shields for their illicit activities. The Sicilian Mafia's power, however, goes far beyond criminal enterprises. What makes them truly formidable is their influence over politics and economies. In their home country of Italy, they have infiltrated government institutions, manipulated elections, and influenced policy decisions. Their reach extends to legitimate industries, where they launder money and establish fronts for their operations. This ability to operate at the highest levels of society while maintaining their grip on the underworld is what sets them apart from every other criminal organization. The structure of Cosa Nostra is both simple and effective. At its core is the family, or cosca, which operates within a specific territory. Each family is autonomous but adheres to a shared code of loyalty and secrecy. The head of the family, known as the boss, oversees all operations within their territory, ensuring that every member remains committed to the organization's goals. This decentralized structure has allowed them to survive and thrive, even as law enforcement efforts intensify. But plenty of them. Their influence isn't limited to violence or intimidation. Cosa Nostra has mastered the art of subtle manipulation, exerting control over communities without always resorting to force. They build relationships, infiltrate legitimate businesses, and create systems of dependence that make their presence inescapable. Over time, they become woven into the fabric of the regions they control, making their removal an almost impossible task. As we conclude this journey through the world's most dangerous criminal organizations, one thing becomes clear. Cosa Nostra stands above the rest. Their history, their adaptability, and their ability to dominate both the legal and illegal worlds have cemented their place as the most powerful and feared mafia in the world. But while their influence is undeniable, their story is also a cautionary tale. It reminds us of the dangers that come when power goes unchecked and secrecy becomes the currency of control. As we've journeyed through this list, we've uncovered the stories of 5 of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the world. From the Yakuza, a group steeped in tradition but still capable of immense harm, to the Triads, whose adaptability has made them a global threat. We've explored the hidden networks of the Ndrangheta, controlling the cocaine trade with staggering efficiency, and the Bratva, whose operations stretch across continents with precision and discipline. And finally, we've seen the unparalleled influence of the Sicilian Mafia, an organization that stands as the very definition of organized crime. Each of these groups operates in a way that extends far beyond what many of us can comprehend. They manipulate economies, exploit the vulnerable, and in some cases, influence the very systems designed to stop them. These organizations are not relics of the past. They continue to evolve, finding new ways to expand their reach and maintain their power. Now, we turn the question to you. Which of these organizations do you believe poses the greatest threat? Is it the global reach of the Bratva, the relentless control of the Ndrangheta, or perhaps the deeply rooted influence of Cosa Nostra? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We're eager to hear your opinions on these powerful and dangerous forces. If you've enjoyed uncovering the truth behind these criminal empires, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. We're dedicated to bringing you more stories that delve into the world of true crime, stories that reveal the hidden, the shocking, and the unforgettable. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.